Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I hope you guys are having an awesome day today. It's not that sunny outside, so hopefully it gets nicer as the day goes on and you guys can go outside and play. I hope you guys had a good Memorial Day yesterday, spent time with maybe your families, maybe some of you had barbecues, or just if you have a pool, hung by your pool, because it was a little cloudy in the morning and then it got super nice yesterday. So I hope you guys had a good day off, had some fun outside. So this week we've been talking about dinosaurs, right? Miss Melissa was just talking about their habitats or their homes and where they live and how to build habitats and homes for them, right? If you watched her live right before mine at 10. So today we're going to talk about dinosaurs too, because that's our theme this week is dinosaurs. And we're going to go through and we're going to talk about some of the dinosaurs that are in this book. And then we're going to talk about maybe how tall they are, how long they are, and things that they are similar in size to. So we'll wait a couple minutes for everyone to hop on with us, and then we'll get started on our book because I don't want anyone to miss out. Does everyone like dinosaurs? Do you like dinosaurs? I think dinosaurs are super cool. We can look at some of the ones in this book. I know their names are backwards, but you can see some of them. There's an Allosaurus and an Ankylosaurus and a Velociraptor over here. These are some of the ones we're going to be talking about today. There's a T-Rex or Tyrannosaurus Rex. There's a Triceratops. There's a Stegosaurus. There's lots of dinosaurs we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to be talking about their height and maybe some of their weight and their length. And those are all things that you can find out about yourself too. A lot of times when you go to the doctor, they figure out your height. Remember, they lean you up against the wall and they figure out how tall you are. So we're going to figure out how tall these dinosaurs are today. So it says, what is a dinosaur? Most people think of dinosaurs as big, ferocious, extinct reptiles. Largely, that is true, but there are some misconceptions, so that means there's some confusions. Dinosaurs came in all shapes and sizes. Dinosaurs are large land animals all of the time, are not large land animals all the time. A great number of them were as small as a turkey. So turkey is something you eat on Thanksgiving, so think about dinosaurs being that tiny. So maybe we'll find some little ones in here. So this is our T-Rex, Tyrannosaurus Rex, right? You can see how big he is. Let's find out some things about him. He was the largest and fiercest carnivores. So carnivore means that he ate meat. Scientists believe that they were a powerful predator and could have eaten 500 pounds of meat in one bite. Can you eat 500 pounds of meat in one bite? I don't think so. Let's see. He is 40 feet long. So if he was to lay out in front of you, you wouldn't even be able to touch his head to his tail if you put your hands out to the side. Good morning, Miss Megan. Good morning, Miss Susan. He was 15 to 20 feet tall. So that's how tall he was. And let's figure out how much he weighs. He weighed around 5 to 7 tons. That is a lot. You will never weigh a ton in your life. And the size that he's compared to is that of a school bus. So those of you who ride the school bus, he's about the size of your school bus. He's super tall and super long. And he weighs 5 to 7 tons. Now, next we have the Allosaurus. Can you see him? Yeah, the Allosaurus. So he was maybe yellow. They're not really sure. You can see him here too. The Allosaurus was the king of the Jurassic predators in North America. Powerful jaws held by nearly 70 sharp and thick teeth. Do you have 70 teeth in your mouth? Look how many teeth he has. I'll move him close. You see all his teeth in there? He had at least 70 teeth in his mouth. He was 40 feet long. That is almost as long as the T-Rex, right? We said the T-Rex, let's see. He was around 40 feet long too. So almost the same length of a T-Rex. He was about 10 feet tall. So he was probably as tall as the ceilings in your house. So if you look up to the ceilings in your house, that's probably around how tall he was. And he weighed up to 4.5 tons. So he's a little bit smaller than a T-Rex, but he's almost as long as a T-Rex. From his nose all the way back to his tail, you can see over here, is about 40 feet, just like a T-Rex, but he's a little bit smaller. And he's just about as tall as your ceilings. Next, we have an Ankylosaurus. Can you see him? An Ankylosaurus. Let's see. Can you see him over here too? This is what they thought they might have looked like. And we're not really sure what dinosaurs looked like because we didn't have pictures back then. There was no people, it was just dinosaurs. So they get their bones, like they're called fossils, and they kind of recreate what the dinosaurs would have looked like by looking at their bones. The Ankylosaurus was as large as a tank and nearly as hard to attack. So think of a tank in the military, that's around how big he was. Even though they were very slow moving and their tails clubbed, they were not much defense against a T-Rex. Their extremely tough armor folded them 8 inches long. So 8 inches thick around his whole body was his armor of his thick skin. Let's see. He was about 25 to 30 feet, so he wasn't as long as the Allosaurus or the T-Rex. You can see him. He was 4 feet tall, so he wasn't that tall. He was probably maybe this tall, if you're looking at the floor. 4 feet tall. And he weighed 4 tons. So he's tinier than the other dinosaurs, but he weighs close to what they weigh, right? And it says it's comparable to a tank, just like they talked about in the beginning. So here's what the tank would be, and that's about the size of this dinosaur. Isn't that kind of cool? But these dinosaurs were huge. But just like we talked about in the beginning, there were some dinosaurs that were tinier, as small as a turkey. This is the Apatosaurus. So this one, I don't know if you can see him. He has a really long neck and a really long tail. It was a giant dinosaur. This was one of the largest animals to have walked on the earth. So one of the largest dinosaurs to walk on the earth with us. The Apatosaurus could be called the Brachiosaurus too. So that's the Brachiosaurus too. And it was about 70 to 90 feet long. So super, super long. Longer than the T-Rex. He was about 10 to 15 feet tall. So a little bit taller probably than the ceilings in your house. And he weighed 33 through 80 or 38 tons. So he was pretty heavy, just like the rest of the dinosaurs. But he had a super long neck. You can see it in here, right? His super long neck and his super long tail that went all the way behind him, right? And they only swallowed stones and helped grind up their food. So they would eat plants, while a lot of the other dinosaurs were carnivores, just like we talked about earlier, and they eat animals or meat. They ate plants, and they would swallow stones sometimes, it says, to help break up their food, because they didn't chew their food. They kind of just swallowed it. Then we have a velociraptor. We have the velociraptor next. So the velociraptor was discovered in the year 1983 by the British. So they found a fossil of this dinosaur not that long ago, and they found out what he was. So they think that he was about 32 feet long. He was about 8 feet tall, so a little bit taller than your doors in your house. And he weighed 1.5 to 2 tons. So look, you can see he's a little bit smaller than the rest of the dinosaurs. He doesn't weigh as much, and he's not as tall. So he was a carnivore too, and he ate meat. But is only discovered so far that he's only eaten fish. They're going to have to keep doing research to find out more about velociraptors because they don't know that much about them. But this is them. We have next the Spinosaurus. You can see him. He has a big spine, just like you have a spine on your back. If you run your fingers up your back, you can feel it. His spine is kind of on top of his body. He is 41 to 60 feet long. That is so long. His height is 5.7 feet, so he's not that tall. And he could weigh from 7 to 20 pounds. That is crazy. Or 20 tons, not pounds. Look how big he is and how heavy he would be. And he is compared to the size of 3 elephants. So you know how big elephants are. So he's compared to 3 elephants. Isn't that crazy? Then we have our Stegosaurus. You can see right here, our Stegosaurus. So the Stegosaurus has 17 bone plates that were embedded in his back. So all of these are different bones that stick up off of his back. And that's where he got those from. They kind of look like triangles if you look close. Here, I'll show you this so you can see it better. They look kind of like little triangles, right? A little bit. They're kind of like silly shaped triangles, but they have those points. Good morning, Miss Linda. Right? They're about 26 to 30 feet long, so they're super long, just like the other dinosaurs are. They are as 9 feet tall, and they weigh about 2 tons. So 9 feet tall, so same thing, a little bit taller than your door frame, not as quite as tall as your ceilings in your house. So they're pretty tall, and they have all their bone plates on their backs to help them. Let's see. Yeah. They're just as long as a stegosaurus. It also has spikes on its backs. And they're flexible. So they can move a little bit to help them when they're walking. And it's compared to the size of a bus again. So the other dinosaur was compared to the size of a school bus. This is compared to the size of a bus too. I think we have one more. We have the Triceratops. Let's see. A lot of you know what a Triceratops is. And I always know because they look like they have like a little halo or a little necklace around their head. The Triceratops is a predator. The Triceratops charges his enemies just like a rhino would, because they have, you can see it more, I think, over here. The spikes on their nose and their ears. Up here, they're like horns to help charge their prey. They're about 30 feet long. They're 7 feet tall. And they weigh up to 6 to 12 tons. So just like the other dinosaurs, they weigh a lot. I don't think you could fit a dinosaur in your lap. They are herbivores, so that means they eat plants. They mostly eat, it says, shrubs and other plant life. So shrubs are kind of like bushes, so they eat plants, green things, and it's also compared to the size of a bus. So a lot of our dinosaurs are as big as our buses is. So next time you're driving around with your moms and your dads, look at maybe you see a school bus or a city bus, or even if you ride a city bus, see if you can see if it's basically the size of a dinosaur, what some of our dinosaurs would be. So that was us talking about our heights and our weights of some of our dinosaurs that we know and some of our dinosaurs that you might not have known about. So just like you, when you go to the doctor, you get your height and your weight taken, sometimes your length, not really though anymore. But dinosaurs were way bigger than we were, right? They're not as big, or we're not as big as dinosaurs. So this week is dinosaur themed. I know Miss Melissa was just talking about how to build habitats for your dinosaurs. So build your habitats for your dinosaurs and then think about if dinosaurs were still here, how big would you have to make their home? Because they're not as tiny as we think they are. They're huge. So you can pretend that your habitat is real and pretend that it's as big as the dinosaurs are. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.